Traveling today reminded me that the people who carry the most responsibility are often the ones who are doing the most invisible work, right? Like you sit in an organizational meeting or you're traveling around and you realize like there's a lot of good work happening that doesn't get noticed, no recognition, no awards, but without them, a lot of things go left. So, for instance, right? So I'm traveling, I'm going through pre-check and all those things, and you see the people who are saying, "Come through the metal detector, hold your hands up. We're gonna check to see, all that." But then there's the people who are on the computer, who are sitting behind that glass wall, and all it looks like they're doing is clicking buttons and clicking buttons, right? But they have such a important responsibility because if they half-ass it, somebody can get through with illegal contraband or weapons, right? So you may see them sitting in a chair and all they're doing is this right here, but in all reality, this saves millions of people. It saves a whole system. It saves a chain of events. And I think what we haven't focused on a lot of times is the front office in athletics is the highest seen one, right? And then you have the back office, which is all of the compliance people and the academics. Like it's like everybody who's on the back half after you get through the door. And the front office, you see them like it's recruiters, the GMs, the coaches, it's the media, like it's everybody who you're seeing. But there's a group of people who sit in what I call the middle office, right? And they're governing like relationships between the front office and the back office and the external folks too. That's the space that we currently occupy and live in because without that middle office, without going through the airport and saying, okay, I'm coming through the doors, but for me to even get to the gate, I gotta get through TSA. I gotta get through the per person picking the button. The person through the button has to make sure that the ones who came through the door are cleared before they even touch the back, right? And I think that's where the forgotten work gets done. I think that's where the viewpoint of this is irrelevant comes from, and you're not really behind the scenes because they see you. But 9 times out of 10, when you're sitting in that middle office space, when you're sitting in that role that's responsible for way more than people realize, you don't get credit. You aren't known, you aren't seen, and you're only respected if things continue to go right and you're charged up when things go wrong. And I think about it from a football field or like a football team, the offensive linemen are the most important people on the team. Like it's the offensive lineman and then it's the specialists. And I choose the offensive lineman in all of my analogies because it's a reason why it's five of them, it's two of the same position in each spot, and one center, right? Think about this. The play doesn't start until the ball is snapped. Who snaps the ball? The center. The quarterback can't throw a medium to long throw without good blocking. Who's blocking? Off the line. The running back can't go for 100, 200 yards rushing without good blocking up the field and making holes and making gaps. Whose job is that? The offensive line. And it's a position that is credited when things are going well, but it's the ultimate blame when things aren't going well. Because if a quarterback is sacked 3, 4, 5 times a game, the offensive line is going to get blamed. If the running back can't ever get the handoff and is always tackled in the backfield, offensive line is going to get charged. And it's like people can either make money or lose money at the offensive line spot. Defensive linemen get paid, or they don't get paid. And if they don't get paid, it's because an offensive lineman is getting paid because they're doing a really good job at their job. But you never want to be known as an offensive lineman because you're you're either like really really good or you're really really bad, and there's like no in between. And 9 times out of 10, if you're always getting your name called every game, you're probably doing something wrong because to to do your job is to never get your name called, and that's the space that I think is forgotten a lot. Is that people who do a hefty job and have a real responsibility for this whole machine to work, they are usually the ones who aren't known, name isn't called, your stuff not in the paper, and but you make this train go. So where you are today has to be, you have to be okay with not having your name called if you want to hold this type of position, because this may look like you're doing nothing, but the moment you stop doing this to your best ability, a lot goes wrong.